food.
Genetically modified foods is a brilliant solution to the world's hunger problems. But just like anything too good to be true, there are controversies that go along with it. Some of these main controversies are food safety issues, ecological concerns, and economic concerns. Food safety tests are very important. The public needs to know that the food they are buying is safe. Arpad Pusztai, in his article Genetically Modified Foods, Are They a Risk to Human or Animal Health at www.actionbioscience.org, says that it is more difficult to determine the safety of GM foods due to the fact that they are more complex and that their chemical makeup changes with their different growth techniques and conditions. Publications on GM food toxins are scarce, not providing enough information for the public to feel safe. To determine safety, compositional comparisons are used. When there is not a significant difference, they are determined as substantially equivalent and regarded as safe. Substantial equivalence is an unscientific concept that is undefined and has no legal bindings. No peer-reviewed publications of clinical studies on human health exist, and very few on animal studies, causing a major concern. No matter how many other benefits genetically modified foods have, if they are harmful to the environment, they are not worth the risk. Miguel Altieri, in his article, The Ecological Impacts of Agricultural Biotechnology at www.actionbioscience.org, says that when altering the genetic structure of GM crops, many become herbicide resistant. And when these crops are introduced to their free-living relatives, cross-pollination occurs, creating more herbicide-resistant crops. There are several widely accepted environmental drawbacks with GM foods, including an increase in insect pests. Insect-resistant crop toxins affect natural predators, causing insect pests to run rampant. Long-term persistence of insecticidal products causes problems in the soil. These insecticidal products affect organic matter decomposition and mineralization. This causes problems to farmers who rely on local residues, organic matter, and soil organisms in their crops to fertilize them. GM crops also limit agricultural diversity, causing social and economic problems. Not only do GM foods create risks to the environment, but also to the economy. Alexis Magical, in her article, The Difficult Economics and Science of Genetically Modified Produce at www.wired.com, says that although the prices for GM foods are dropping, they are still much higher than traditional plant breeding. Specialty crops, those other than corn and soy, create smaller markets and there's less money to be made. Specialty crops also require more money invested in their growth than traditional plant breeding. Social factors have driven costs up, causing the big food processors to fear consumer backlash. Most European countries have already closed their markets to GM crops. GM advocates point out that regulatory hurdles also add to their costs of GM foods. As you can see, there are many factors that contribute to the controversy of genetically modified foods. GM foods can be a great benefit to our society. Although there are many upsides to GM food, there are also negatives. These negatives include, but are not limited to, safety factors, ecological concerns, and economic concerns. These negatives do not diminish the value of GM foods, but serve as cautionary concerns.
Okay, we start.